Portraying yourself online is so weird. I obviously can't generalize everyone's relationship to social media and technology, but it's probably safe to say that you, watching this video, are probably sharing things about yourself online with others somehow. We all are. As artists, how do we exist online in a way that is productive for us? With considerations to our mental health, of course. There's a squirrel outside. Where do you draw the privacy line? Like, how do you put yourself out there in a way that is genuine and real so that you can connect with like-minded individuals and grow your audience and community? Hi, my name is Melina, and I'm an independent artist from Toronto, Canada. On my channel, I try to bring a level of emotional intelligence to my artistic practice and talk about it. I'm a creative person that feels so very, very much. And if you're just like me, wondering how you're going to do it all for the thing that you love, this is the channel and video for you. In this video, I'll be talking about being online, and not just as you personally, kind of, but as your artist persona, as a musician. How do we find the best way to put ourselves out there? How do you put yourself out there safely, in a way that honors you? And how can we connect with others that are, just like us? Well, we all use the internet differently. The differences can be generational, cultural, even personal. I wanted to acknowledge this because taking these differences into consideration can help us get a better understanding of why we use the internet the way we do, specifically social media. I feel like we often stick with what we know, what we grew up learning. We stick to what's familiar, things that feel close to home. It's why some of us will feel comfortable using Tumblr again as it creeps back, why our elders are still on Facebook. I feel like we often see what's working for others, because there is a formula, and we wonder if we have the ability to apply that same formula to our own careers. There's a lot of trial and error, and it's embarrassing sometimes. I think it's very easy to see this very polished, curated content feed from an artist you admire and feel anxiety around whether you got the chops to, play the game. And if you want engagement, it's all video, so good luck. If you don't feel comfortable on camera, right? But feeling hopeless in the face of online information, just online exhaustion, it doesn't mean you're any less of an artistic powerhouse with wonderful ideas and things to share. It makes you human. Our brains are not wired for this. Things are changing very fast, and it's giving your soul and yourself a way to make it. So where's the middle ground? I definitely hear a lot of advice for indie artists, which is usually study an artist whose online presence you want to emulate and do that. This is good advice, but this is like 10% of it. This is only the research portion. Finding feeds that emulate the energy you want to emulate is definitely a good start to understanding how you want to be perceived online, but this isn't field tested just for you. So, how are you going to actually make the content and put it out regularly? Not being afraid to try different things with intention to find what's right for you and your lifestyle and routine is key, especially if you don't want to be online for too long. If you're trying to shave down your screen time, you need a personal game plan. So I think the research portion is good, but can also feel endless, another reason to scroll and compare yourself to others. Take a step back and ask yourself some questions. Who are you trying to share your work with? While you can't force people to interact with you, you can put yourself out there in a way that feels like it honors you and your boundaries. You can consider the audience you want to connect with, but who knows if that audience that you're yearning for really wants you for you. What's the focal point of what you're sharing? Is your branding or online identity concise and clear? Who are you connecting with online right now, and why do you think that is? If you want to push yourself to grow an audience on social media, I think video is the way. Reels, TikTok, even YouTube, these short form videos, they just get way more engagement than text and just photo. If you want to grow online, you're going to have to start filming something, but that part is definitely up to you. Like, what are you going to film? What is it going to look like for you? Taking into consideration all the other things that you have going on in your life, not just the art. It took me a minute to swallow the pill, and I'm still swallowing the pill. That is a huge part of the game. This like music game, this art game, is putting yourself out there, and the best way to do it, and this is for sure not the only way, is to be active on social media, aside from in person doing shows, etc. Building an audience one by one. Back in the day, it wasn't uncommon for artists to go from city to city with CDs in their trunks, trying to get their music out to the people that they think would connect the best with it. The way things are being shared now is kind of the way it is. I mean, social media, and I'm aware that statement is maybe black and white, but I digress at building an audience as how we thrive as an artist, how you're going to thrive as an artist. You rally a community around your work, people that believe in your vision and relate to you enough at some point that they want to buy into you, or at least stick around, and consume your content. And this can be online and offline. And that's what we do shows and events for. Shout out boundaries. Figure out your boundaries. I will talk about it over and over again, and honor them in your work the best you can. Take that into how you exist online, and do your best, because I know, that this shit is addicting and brain numbing and weird. But boundaries are a part of your identity, so take them with you when you log in. Boundaries, though, can look like, for example, preferring to make long-form content over short-form content because you want to live in people's brains for a little bit longer than 7 seconds. Valid. It can look like using certain social media platforms for specific things or reasons. It can look like maybe minimal social media presence, but strong visuals on your page, and a more of a reliance on live shows and performance to connect with new people. Even if you decided that you didn't want to show your face online, you wouldn't have to. There are people whose work that is so present and enjoyed, even with that boundary in place. And you may not connect with the right audience right away, but with a keen level of intention, and practice, you will, as long as you're consistent. It's literally like anything you've ever started before that you weren't good at. Marketing yourself, putting yourself out there is a whole other job on top of making music or art or finishing a project. Writing a song, not easy for everyone, but it's part of it now. Unless you have label support, how are you going to let people know that you're here and you're doing this art thing? Me putting out this video is my way of trying to be present online in a positive way that is true to me. I just gotta put myself out there somehow. But I don't feel comfortable on TikTok, and I feel like a fool, but it is what it is. I short form this content for Instagram Reels, and that's really working for me right now. Take it slow. One day at a time, one thing at a time. And once your boundaries are clear to you, you can start to figure out how you're going to do this. You also need to field test your personalized plan. Is it realistic on top of all the other things you've got going on in your life? Because I know you've got some other hustle to financially back your work. I think, the how reveals itself once your boundaries are set, because you know where to push yourself, even if it's uncomfortable at first. You have an idea where you can grow. I believe that anyone can find that ebb and flow. And if you allow yourself to make mistakes, the rest will come when it's due. And you'll be able to find, what feels natural. Even though it's a little uncomfortable, you at least have an idea of where to push yourself. My very special honey, give yourself time to learn. I know how easy it is to see the success of others and feel embarrassed that you don't have it like them, but we are all dealt different cards and will experience different drawbacks. You just gotta work with what you got. And anyone that you have probably ever looked up to creatively has worked with what they have, and it's resulted in something so special. And if you're feeling icky about the internet and overwhelmed, get a friend to set a screen time code for you. It can be a lot. Even beginning to think about being perceived online, putting yourself out there and trying to take some of that control and harness it so you can put your work out into the world. It's a lot. it's hard. I find myself often wanting the internet to be this third place, but unless you find yourself in a very specific community of people online, I find it hard to just shout into the void, posting with a sureness that things are going to come across in the way that I want. And the reality is that it is nearly impossible, because anything can end up in the wrong hands, and we all speak different cultural languages. Still, I think with consistency, you can rally community around your work. You can craft an online identity, brand, or page that truly does represent you and some, but not all of what you are. And you can be honest, you can be blunt, or you can be gentle. You can nurture intellectual discourse. You can inspire people to go outside and move their bodies. You can share your styled outfits and share ideas, and not everyone will agree with you or think that you're cool, but that's the point. Because you're trying to weed out who isn't for you and instead find the people that are looking to really connect with you in your work. I simply see social media as a tool. It is not always easy to use, but it's a tool to get louder about what we're working on and who we are. And so, how do we gather our energies around what really matters to us online? How do we emulate that energy? How do we share who we are? Girl, just start today. It starts small. It's a process, finding what really matters to you and figuring out how you're going to communicate that to a large audience, to everyone. Life is fleeting, so try your best to be clear. Connecting with others, presenting ourselves in a way that is genuine and true. It's a way to connect and share our work with the right people. We can figure it out. Take it slow, start from the ground up, and allow it to come organically. You've got to be consistent though. Receive aliveness and leave the rest. If you're an artist like me who's constantly exhausted by the internet, I hope this helped soothe your ache a little bit. It's taken me a minute to figure these things out for myself while trying to get my music out to as many people as I can. I'm literally just a girl and I'm so tired and I'm still figuring it out. Thank you so much for staying all the way to the end of this video. I hope this was a good pep talk. I hope this is what you needed. Have an amazing rest of your day and go outside, breathe some fresh air, do a nice big sun salutation, stretch up to the sky, down to your toes. I love you. Bye.